Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I am working with a beautiful ceramic container that was brought to us by our client, and I thought she wanted us to put a pretty floral arrangement in here that would match the container. So I don't know how well you can see, but it has little roses all the way around on the container. It's beautiful. And so I added a fresh block of floral foam into the reservoir. I'm not going to tape it down because I'm really concerned that the tape might mess up the container, so I'm not going to tape it down. It is deep enough that I don't think we're going to have any problems with the flowers falling out, and the floral foam is pretty heavy, so it's going to hold it down pretty well. I'm going to start out with a little bit of greenery. So I'm going to take this lemon leaf or salal, and I am going to cut it and tuck it into this little container. I want to make sure that we don't cover up the flowers that are on the container. So I'm going to be very careful to not cover the container too much because I really want those roses to show. So I'm taking this salal and I'm going to actually just use these scissors. And I am just cutting the individual leaves and pressing those stems right into that foam because it's really important that we don't cover this container. So I'm cutting it in tiny little pieces. The reason I'm using the scissors, because when I'm using the knife, I tend to pull the leaves off of the stem, and that's certainly not what I want to do. So I'm just using this pair of scissors. Now, if you have some really good snips, that works great too. I'm not going to go too heavy with the foliage. Okay. So there is our I just added a little bit of foliage to the fresh floral foam. Next we're going to come in with a couple of stems of white hydrangeas. Grabbed my quick dip. I'm taking and removing the leaves from the hydrangea. I'm going to cut it at an angle. And I'm dipping that stem in that quick dip. And then I'm going to just press that hydrangea right down into that floral foam. I'm going to take the second one, remove any of that foliage. Cut that stem at an angle. Dip it in the quick dip. And press that stem right down into that floral foam. Okay, so there is a couple of hydrangeas, just kind of catty corner to each other. Next we're going to come in with some beautiful pink roses. Now these pink roses, I was going to say they're Mondal, but I don't believe the variety is Mondal. I'm not exactly sure of the variety. Very soft, very pretty. Go ahead and remove some of that foliage. Take my floral knife. I'm just going to cut that stem at an angle. It's really short, but I really don't have a whole lot of foam to go through, so I'm just going to push that right into that floral foam. I'm removing some of these guard petals just because it looks a little better to remove them. You don't have to remove them if they don't have a blemish. You do not have to remove the guard petals.
Hey, how are you? Good, how are you doing? Doing all right? Okay tomorrow? Yes.
But any of the petals that don't look nice, go ahead and pull those off. So you can see this is just a really compact arrangement. Those roses smell pretty. But I love the way us adding these roses kind of reflects the roses on the container. I think that looks so pretty. All right, so there's our pretty pink roses. Next, we're going to add some of these little blush spray roses. So they almost look kind of gardeny. If you look at them close, they're really so pretty. I'm going to take, and I'm actually going to cut them in 2 pieces. So I'm going to cut the top blooms out. I'm going to tuck them low. And then I've got a second part of the stem that we're going to cut. So the nice part about a spray rose is that you can do that. You've got two pieces that you can insert into that foam, and it almost makes two flowers, right? So I'm cutting it in half, tucking that right in. And then these have long enough stems that I can take and use the stems individually. So I'm just cutting those right off. I love those sweet little roses. See how soft and gardeny they look. So sweet, so pretty. Okay, next we're going to come in. I have a little bit of a larger flower, so we're going to come in with a few stems of lilies. This one broke. Let's see. So I have a couple of stems of white lilies. So these are white oriental lilies, and so an oriental lily has really pretty fragrance. I'm just popping those individual blooms off that stem. I'm going to take and cut that stem at an angle, and then I'm going to tuck that lily right into that fresh floral foam. I'm going to go ahead and remove the stamens. They open up, the pollen will open up, and it will stain the flower. It can also stain your clothes. So I always try to go ahead and remove that because we don't want to stain anyone's clothes. Tuck that in, see how pretty those lilies are. I'm going to also take another one and tuck it back here, I believe. So we have, this one's pretty open. And I'm just kind of nestling that lily, and it smells so pretty. I'm just nestling it right down into that white hydrangea there. Go ahead and remove the pollen. Cut that stem at an angle. Just tuck it in. So you see it's pretty compact and pretty lush. So to finish off this arrangement, I thought we would add some soft baby's breath. It's just so soft and pretty and almost antique to me. So it's, I thought this would be a perfect little added piece to add. And I'm not going to tuck much, just a little bitty touch, just here and there. You can see how I just kind of tucked it there. And I'm going all the way around our container. I want to make sure that we're covering up any of that fresh floral foam that might be showing. But see how soft, and it really makes it, but you have to be careful with baby's breath, because if I just took this whole clump and stuck it down in there, well then it's clumpy and it's not pretty to me. So I like it when you can take it and cut it into tiny little pieces and just add a little touch here and there to your arrangement just to soften that arrangement. Now, to tell you the truth, I am not the biggest fan of baby's breath. And it's strictly because it's not an easy filler flower to work with. It gets kind of clumpy and it kind of breaks. And so you always have to be careful with baby's breath. But see how soft and pretty and elegant that made that arrangement. Now I'm going to step back and I'm going to look at the side of the container. I don't want to cover up too much the container. So when you stand back, I want you to be able to see those little roses on the side. But I need to be careful. Right there, you can see my fresh floral foam. So always take your container and hold it up just like this and look all the way around to see if you can see that floral foam, because you definitely want to hide that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I have a couple more stems of these little spray roses, and I'm going to take and individually cut those individual blooms off this one stem. Okay, and then I'm going to lift or duck down and be sure to tuck my little roses right there on the lip of my container. Now the reason I'm doing that and not adding like a drippy foliage is because I don't want to cover up the details of the container. I just want to cover up the floral foam. I don't want it to show. So that's why I'm very carefully going all the way around and tucking those sweet little blooms right in. And I've got these sweet little buds, so I'm just going all the way around that lip and making sure that we have covered our mechanics. Got a little bit. So I find it's a little harder when you have a very detailed container, because you have to take care to very carefully cover those mechanics. But there we have it. There is our compact arrangement made in an antique. This is an antique ceramic bowl. It might be fine china. It is so lovely. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us today. If you have any questions about how we do things here at our flower shop, you know you can ask those questions right in the comments down below. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you here every time we have a video. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and we will see you real soon. Thanks, guys.